Ladies, it's your time to shine with all things fabulous with First for Women on Afternoon Express. For insurance with a host of fabulous benefits, call 0861 11 18 44 or SMS FIRST to 49267.
Lovely to be back in your TV rooms. My name is Riaan and Michelle. Welcome to Afternoon Express right here on SABC3.
Welcome indeed. I'm Bonnie Mbuli. Today on the show, it's a Tuesday, so obviously we're talking about helping you make more positive changes in your life.
Absolutely. Going green, reducing your carbon footprint, and of course, living green. I know these are terms we've all heard of. What do they mean? They've obviously taken the world by storm. That's the question we're asking you in the loft today. And how can you, as an individual, make a small difference in the space that you are living in? Also, in the studio, we do have a South African couple that are known as eco-warriors.
Yes. Riaan and Michelle Garforth-Venter, they talk to us about what they've been up to and also how to make our lives and homes more sustainable.
All right, but if you are watching, remember we are live right now on SABC3. Make sure that you tweet us at Afternoon Chat. Use our official hashtag Afternoon Express. You can also call us, but Danilo has all the details.
Indeed. So I'm standing by now with one of the funniest men in South Africa at the moment, Kagiso Kg Mokhadi, who's definitely probably not green because you're so funny.
I'm not green at all.
We're going to chat to him about his latest comedy. He was the 2014 SA Comics Choice Award for the best, what you call a breakthrough artist.
Breakthrough artist 2014, yeah.
Right, we're going to find out why he was that in just a sec. But I've also got Sharon Bonambi. Unjani, sis? Mina ndiphilile. So what are we making today? I see there's some salmon here. Is this a sassy green?
It's not salmon, it's trout.
Trout, okay. Is it a sassy green?
It's very green, yes.
Amazing. Good. What are we going to be doing with it?
We're going to be making trout, which will be flavoring with some mustard, some lemon and some honey.
Oh, amazing.
So we'll cook that in the pan and then we'll be serving that with some quinoa. That's with some tomatoes, and we're going to make a yogurt and horseradish sauce.
I love quinoa. So you and I are going to have lots of fun in the kitchen. So we've been joking a lot off air. So expect an awesome cooking segment. www.afternoonexpress.co.za. All the recipes and shopping lists are available for you there. You can cook along with us live on air. Also, don't forget to tweet us at Afternoon Chat, as Bonang did say. Use the hashtag Afternoon Express. You can comment on our Facebook page. We do like to read those posts out too. But the number to dial today on the show to chat to our guests, 083 913 3728. And you can chat to any of our guests live on air. Welcome to Afternoon Express. Bonnie is standing by with our first guest.
Thank you, Dan the man. Today in our loft, we're privileged to have a couple who've been titled as South Africa's eco-warriors and are the pioneers of green living in South Africa. They've written a book called The Green Line, which is filled with practical tips on how to live green. All the way from Swellendam in the Western Cape, Riaan and Michelle Garforth-Venter, welcome to the loft. It's lovely to have you.
Thank you, Bonnie. Hi.
How does it feel to be called eco-warriors?
It feels really good because somebody has to speak out for those who can't, namely animals and the environment. So it feels very empowering to be called a warrior, and with it comes a responsibility.
Yeah. You guys have been married now for 8 years. Do you ever look back on your courtship and your beautiful wildlife wedding and reminisce? And what stands out for you?
Well, I think the secret to a good marriage is, first of all, dating for a good period of time where you get to know each other.
How long would you say is safe?
It's hard to give it an actual time frame, but I think all the fun things of dancing together, going to restaurants, marrying your best friend is really what it's all about. And of course, when we got married, I had to have a couple of elephants at our wedding.
I see this. How gorgeous. It must have been the happiest day of your life. I mean, it looks it.
Well, we've got a 5-year-old son now, so I suppose he is real testimony to that love that we have.
That's awesome. Now, you've been in the industry for quite a while now, from top billing to being an award-winning journalist to being a producer on Riaan's shows. How long have you been in the industry, and what has been the highlight?
24 years, dare I say. Not that I want to age myself, but it's been living an entire lifetime with the lens, a camera following you.
Yes.
And I always say that when you have a camera following you, it tends to make you do things you wouldn't normally do.
And that's true.
Very true. And it also helps you to live your best self, because you're always putting your best foot forward. You must be eloquent, you must be clear, and you must also gather your thoughts, because what you're saying...
Very quickly, too.
Airtime is valuable. That's it. And you've got to think on your feet. So you don't want to waste people's time with trivia. You want to say things that are of value. So it's been quite a journey.
Oh, wow. Now you know how easy our jobs are. Riaan, you're known as South Africa's favorite DIY man. To what do you attribute to the success of your show?
You know what, I think I started off 12, 13 years ago with the whole point of that people should be very happy in what they do, and they must also be proud in what they do. You know, and handyman was also the people with the old vehicle arriving and they were tattered, they didn't wear nice clothes. And I said, listen, this has got to stop, you know. And when I started my show, I wear a tuxedo, went shopping in a tuxedo, and I want to believe people in themselves and that they can do it themselves. And you know, I also have the privilege that I'm blessed to work very well with my hands. I can talk to people. Maybe it was because I was a teacher years ago. But I think that's a success as well, and to keep the show new every time. For the last 13 years, not one show was the same. You know, I would have worked with celebrities, I would work with people in the township areas. There was always a new factor and a new element in what I brought in, and that was also the way that I met her. You know, I thought, I've got to do celebrities, and at least I can get nearer to her, to meet her and to marry her.
Apparently
you know?
you met in the corridors of the SABC.
Yes, we did. We met at SABC, and he had to do quite a lot of spade work, though, before...
Good.
Yes.
Yeah, but I've got good spades. So you can remember that.
There we go. And are you a DIY man at home? Do you use it? Is that how you relax?
Yeah, well, you know what? I love woodwork. So if I relax, I would love to make beautiful things. I like lathe work where I turn beautiful things, paintings and stuff like that. But I also believe that my house must be perfect. You know, I remember years ago when I read into magazines, and I said always, you know, the shoemaker's kids, the shoes are bad, and the mechanic's car's broken. And I said, never ever somebody will say to me, but the Nutsman house is broken. So my house is perfect. If there's something break, I fix it up. And I think Michelle can tell you that. Yeah. She doesn't have to tell me 60 times.
60 times
that I have to
fix
do
the
it,
door.
You know? Although it will still come, but I try to do it quicker than that.
It's very true. I mean, that's actually one of the keys
That's
to...
incredible.
Yeah, if you notice something, fix it immediately. Don't put it off. Every wife's dream, definitely.
You run a working farm and you grow amazing things on the farm. Please tell us about it.
Well, I have to tell you, being in a farm environment is just a blessing
Such
when
a
it comes to
blessing.
sustainable living and all things green, because it just makes it so much easier. You really do have to consider how you're living in the environment. So things like your waste management are definitely fore of mind. You have to be self-sufficient, especially when you're looking at your food, because it's so far to go and buy food. So rather create that sustainable world right there in that close space that you are.
Tell us about the challenges of farming.
I think the first challenge is the name, because it's called Jan Harm's Gat.
So how rude! Even I know what that means.
Yeah, but see, that's the big point. Years ago, the farm was established in 1723, and it was actually the water hole. So all the oxen came past and they drank water there. So a gat is also a hole. Okay. So
And it was the place, it was the last outpost for the pioneers who were pushing forward into that frontier to get fruit and vegetables and things like that. So it's kind of the last water of that Robertson area and that Robertson Valley.
That's incredible. So what do you think South Africa still needs to understand and learn about going green?
Well, I think it's actually a very simple process. It's not so difficult. If you break down sustainable living, you can break it into 4 pillars, which is water saving, energy saving, waste management, and chemicals. So that's really the entire world of what environmental...
Yeah, you've just demystified it for me already.
Yeah, it's 4 pillars, and then generally everything that you're looking at will fit under those 4 columns.
Wonderful. Awesome. We're going to chat more to you about that because it's so interesting and I'm sure we all have a lot to learn. After the break, we have one of the funniest men in South Africa, Kg Mothebe, right here in the loft. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. So we're in the kitchen now making something absolutely fabulous. It is going to be a simply smoked trout. And Sharon is showing us exactly how to do that. Sharon and I were doing a bit of a dance earlier. She was saying, Sondela, Sandela. Hey? You're having a good time
yes,
here.
we
We haven't
are.
even got started yet. So, Sharon, how can I help you today?
Okay. In here, I've got some honey and some lemon zest. You'll mix the mustard grain, the whole grain mustard
Sure.
into that and mix it with the olive oil.
Sure.
That we're going to...
And olive oil, just a little dash?
Just a
or-
little dash of olive oil. And in the meantime, I'm going to prepare our fish. What's important when you're cooking fish, you need to store it at the back.
Okay. Store it at the back of the fridge.
On the skin
Oh, I
side.
see, on the skin
And we
side.
do this for two reasons. One, to allow the heat from underneath to go through to the fish when you're cooking it. And secondly, to make sure that the fish doesn't curl when you cook it.
Oh, that's fascinating. I never knew that, actually. That's something I'm learning today.
Okay, and then I will season this with salt.
This, I'm assuming, is going to make as the basting for the fish itself. Okay.
That's the basting for the fish.
Cool. I think
Okay,
this is done.
that's done.
Looks fantastic.
Okay, I'm going to lightly brush the skin side so that it doesn't stick
I see. So it doesn't stick
onto
to
the
actual
pan. Yes.
Okay, amazing. And we discussed, obviously, that trout is one of on the Sassy Green list, so it is actually safe to eat.
It is very safe to eat. Our pan is a bit too hot.
Can this recipe be used with any other kind of
You
fish?
can use any other kind of
Any
fish,
other
yes,
fish that you like,
definitely.
okay. But make sure it's on the Sassy Green list. Please, don't eat fish that's not sustainable. Yum.
So we'll put a little bit of olive oil there and spread it around the pan. And then we always cook the skin side down.
Okay. Why is it, because I know we're going to be baking this too, or grilling it too.
Yes.
Why are we pre-frying it?
You're basically searing the fish.
Sear it
so, yeah,
first.
making sure that the juices, when you put it in the oven,
Stay in.
they stay in the fish, yes.
Okay.
So that will crisp up the skin underneath first, and then turn it to sear the top. And then straight after that, put it in the pan, and it goes straight into the oven.
Okay, so I see you putting your sauce on now that it's on top there while it's already in the pan.
Yes.
You don't actually have to put it
It
in
doesn't matter. You
beforehand.
can actually put it before or after.
Oh, as that mustard hits the pan, you can smell it, hey?
Yes.
I'm a big fan of mustard. Yo, that looks so
This is such a
good.
good fish. It's
It is
amazing.
such a nice
it's very
fish.
delicate. Eh?
Yes, and it's also got a nice richness to it. So it's not, yeah, it's got a nice richness to it too. So all that fat that's in there is, yeah, I suppose, healthy fat for you. Tim Noakes would like you. Animal fats, it's good for you.
Exactly. So we'll
Something
just
like
sear that side. You need to pass
Sure.
me that pan as well.
I'll bring it to you.
Thank you.
And I see you are lightly searing it. You can sear it to taste. So you can choose
Yes.
if you want it like very lightly seared or
Yes.
pretty well done.
Yes, yes.
Well done.
And then you put it flesh side down.
Okay, so flesh side down in
Down.
this pan. And I need to
Yes.
put this in the
And then
oven.
that needs to go straight into the
No more
oven.
basting, just like this.
Just like that.
Okay, well, I'm going to put this in the oven. In the meantime, we've got a very special and funny guest on the couch.
Thank you so much, Danilo. He was the winner of the 2014 SA Comics Choice Breakthrough Act Award and is fast becoming one of South Africa's most sought-after comedians. Now, he's described as a pretty big guy who's going to be huge one day. Joining us on the couch right now is Kagiso Kg Mothebe. Welcome to Afternoon Express.
Thank you for having
That
me.
is a hilarious nickname. Where did you get that? Who describes you as a pretty big guy who's going to get huge one day?
Dude, I grew up in Mawabani.
Aha.
KG is always Kagiso, Kaugelo, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And when I moved to Cape Town, it became KG.
Okay,
For
the kilograms.
Obvious reasons.
But let's talk about growing up. I mean, like you said, you were born in Mabopane. You studied computer programming.
Yeah.
So when did the decision come to get into comedy?
My parents wouldn't pay for any artistic nothing. They wouldn't.
Yeah, like my parents as well.
Yeah, they wouldn't. So you could lie with computer programming. Back in the day, they had no idea what it was. It was the computer, you know. He'll be rich, that sort of thing. It was easier to sell them that and find my own way after, you
Yeah.
know, when I was working in IT.
But it's one thing to be funny, you know, and it's another thing for people to find you funny. When was the moment you decided that, you know what, I think no, let me get into comedy?
People kept saying it. I have friends that used to say, do you get paid for the nonsense that you talk, you know? And I wanted to do it for a long time. Like, I saw comedians doing it. And I thought, I want to do this. This is actually what I want to do. And, yeah.
And what did your parents say? Do you remember that conversation when you were like, you know what, Mom and Dad, I tried computer programming. I'm actually quite hilarious. I want to be a comedian.
My folks had no clue that I was doing this until they saw me on a newspaper. And they're old school, so when you're in a newspaper, it means
thing.
Then I was very selective about the shows that I invited them to, so it was mainly theatre, not club.
Yeah.
Because club can be dingy, you know. Like my mother has never been to a club gig. My dad is cooler about it. I think my mother is more the academic and my dad is more the artist. So it works
Exactly.
out.
And your mom is a nurse, right? And
Yep.
your dad is a sangoma.
Yeah.
So what happened when you were sick at home?
Here's the thing. I didn't grow up with my dad being a sangoma. My dad was a writer. He was a cool guy. I think about 15 years ago, he took up I thought he was going through a midlife crisis because
Yeah.
it was new. It was like, well, what's wrong with you? Why don't you just ride bikes like other men and that
be
sort
an
of thing?
ordinary dad.
Just wear long shoes like
Yeah.
other men. And, you know, and it's cool. I wish I grew up as a sangoma. And now when I'm sick, I just go to Dr. Cornell.
Okay, not mom or dad. No, thank you.
No, I've got medical aid.
I'm trying to put you on the spot.
Look, because I live in Cape Town,
Okay.
my parents are very far, so it doesn't help. You know what I mean? But I will be honest that when I'm home, my dad will throw some seeds my way.
Yeah.
This,
And I mean-
this helps.
Take it.
Yeah, I don't even ask. So what is the? Just like, nah.
Do you consult him in terms of your career and your
Yeah,
path and your journey and trying to get a view as to are you doing the right thing? Are you headed in the right direction?
Of course I consult. He's my dad. He's my boy.
Does he charge you?
Yeah. There's a family discount thing going on, but he charges me.
All right.
He does.
Let's talk a little bit about your family. I mean, and you're a dad. Last year you got married.
Yes.
How is the whole married life experience?
Dude, it's cool. I've been with my missus for 11
Wow.
years. We met my first year of college, so we've been together for a long time. You know what I mean? There's not much difference. It's normal. It's more relaxed in that there's no conversation about marriage. The conversation about marriage could be one with a lot of pressure and that sort of thing. So that conversation is gone, and now we're mates. We're just chilling. But I moved to Cape Town because I was chasing her, and I'm happy it worked out.
Hey now.
Yeah.
And tell me about your little daughter. She's there that we see in the background. She's absolutely beautiful. Does she think Daddy is as hilarious as the world thinks?
I think she thinks that I'm the coolest friend ever.
That's awesome.
I think that's what she thinks. Like, we watch Ruby and Max. She calls me Max, and I call her Ruby. So we've got that thing going down, you know what I mean? And we just watch cartoons and
love that.
and we eat like
Cereals,
sweets behind.
popcorn, chips,
No,
junk.
sweet. We eat junk
That's what you do.
behind my wife's back.
But let's talk a little bit about your career. I mean, last year at the Comics Choice Awards, you won the Breakthrough Artist of the Year. And now again this year, you've been nominated for the intermediate category. I mean, what's next for you as a comedian? I mean, comedy is exploding in South Africa right now. What does KG want to achieve?
Dude, I'm doing what I love. I think I can only do it better. I really, all I ever want is to be a good comedian. There's nothing else. I really want to be the best comic I can be. As in, I've got what I think is the best version of what I want to do, and it's got nothing to do with anything but just the jokes and writing them in the best way possible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm already doing it, and I'm happy with that.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I need to say this, that you are exploding at the perfect time on Afternoon Express. I mean, so many of our guests have been comedians, but I want us to talk a little bit more about that a little bit later. I mean, we've seen the likes of yourself, Trevor Noah, Louis Sogola, everybody exploding and becoming international. But we're going to expand on that a little bit later. KG is still going to be hanging with us right here in the loft. But I've got a question for you. Would you like to experience a day in my life? Then make sure that you catch our Brave Blonde Foundation Friday series right here on Afternoon Express and enter our our competition on Twitter. All you need to do, very simple, tweet us a picture of you holding a Revlon Color Stay foundation. Make sure that you tag at Afternoon Chat and using our official hashtags, hashtag Foundation Fridays, hashtag Love Is On, and you and your +1 can win the ultimate celebrity experience where you'll be treated to 24 hours of luxury with myself. So don't miss out on this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So make sure you get snapping and make sure that you get tweeting. But after the break, Riaan Die Nutsman gives us some practical energy-saving tips for our homes. Remember to join in the conversation right on social media. If you have any DIY or energy-saving questions, tweet us right now using our official hashtag Afternoon Express. And also comment on our Facebook page or give us a call on 083 913 323728. More coming up straight after the break.
Very fortunate today to have Die Nutsman himself in our loft, and now we'll be showing you how to save some money and protect the ecosystem at the same time with a simple change of a light bulb. Now, Riaan, obviously everyone's been speaking about these energy-saving light bulbs,
yes.
and I've heard for years that people say that the things in your house that take the least amount of energy are your light bulbs.
Yes.
Is that true?
In winter time, you start putting your lights up at 6 o'clock at night and leave it until 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
So there's always different times of the year when you use less, but there's always lights, especially with security lights outside. So I don't think people can say that's the least energy consumption that we are using.
So it is something we must look at.
Definitely. I mean, we definitely got to change it. Everybody, I say, everybody can make a difference. If it's this small, you are making a difference.
Amazing. And you've put a little device today to show us how we can make that difference, and particularly using LEDs, because they are the big fad at the moment. Everyone's trying to save energy. Everyone's trying to move to LED. So what have you got here today?
You know, we started with the incandescent light. That's an old light. Everybody used it. And then we went to CFLs. Yes. But the big word these days are LEDs. So I've got this little device here which I want to put on. We put that one on, you can do the reading on that side. So that's a normal 50-watt downlighter. And the house has always got a lot of downlighters.
Yes,
I've
seen a lot of these actually in my flat too. So it's called it's got 66 watts, I think we're pulling.
This one is using 9 watt.
9 watt. And we're producing the same amount of light between the two.
Same amount of light. This is a 7 watt, that's a 50 watt. So I always say it's a very easy thing. You can put 7 watt into 50, it's a 9. So you can put 9 of these bulbs for one of those light bulbs in.
And it's getting the same amount of light, which I think is really cool. In terms of lifespan of these two bulbs?
Okay. That downlighter there is a 2,000-hour lifespan. This one got a 30,000-hour lifespan.
Okay.
So now the next question people always ask me, yeah, but they're so more expensive. That one is 25 Rand. This one is 210 Rand.
Okay.
But let's do a simple calculation.
Mathematics.
We've done that like in grade 4. You know, it's a grade 4 one, this.
Okay.
If you, in 30 hours, we'll have to replace 15 of these for this one downlighter.
Oh.
So if you take 15 times 25 Rand, 400 bucks.
Okay.
Okay, so it's already more expensive by changing that. The electricity consumption that we're going to use on this 7 watt one over 30,000 hours, it's going to be 252 Rand. So it's 252 Rand plus 210, it would give you 462.
460 Rand, yeah.
This will be 1,900 Rand. Plus your 375 or 400, you're talking about 2,200. So you're saving, in 30 hours, you're saving 1,800 bucks just by putting this light bulb in, one light bulb.
So and you mentioned the CR, what are those other ones that we use? The energy?
CFLs.
CFLs. Now, CFLs are those twirly-whirly ones that everyone's been saying, replace your bulbs, get these CFLs because they've got a gas inside and they're more efficient. Are those still less efficient than these LEDs?
No, not LEDs. LEDs are your most efficient ones, okay? So I'll show you some more now.
Cool.
So this one is a 7 watt and this one is a 50 watt.
Yes.
Okay. And also the very easy thing about this, people out there that they can't change anything. This is how easy you change a light bulb. You screw it out. Okay, and you screw another one in. I mean, I think everybody
just as easy as screwing it. All right, fantastic.
No, we can do that. Okay, now this one is your normal incandescent light. It's a 60-watt incandescent light bulb.
Which is your generic light bulb that everyone has in their household.
Everybody's got them.
I've seen them, they surge, they break, load shedding doesn't like them.
From the 1st of April this year, nobody's allowed to sell them anymore. They changed them to a Heligan. You're not allowed to buy them anymore. Okay, we'll put that one on. You can start doing the reading. Then you've got your brand new LED lights. So every little yellow line there, it's called the LED filament. This is LED filament. So this is a 4 watt And I will show you the light, what you get
It's
out of
emitted.
that.
So by the way, this is 82 watts that we're pulling on this side.
82 watts on that one.
Yo, it's even brighter.
And that one
say.
uses 6 watts.
6 watts. Wow.
It's brighter than that one. It's a beautiful light bulb. You know, you get them in different, you get them in candles.
shapes.
All the different shapes and
price
shapes
difference?
are the same thing. This one will be like 25 Rand. This one will be like 210 Rand.
Okay.
But the same, if you do the calculations, it's better to start doing that. And I always say, you know what, you're not going to go into your house now and change your 100 light bulbs. But you see one of them is fused, you take that one out, spend a little bit more money, and put the right bulb in, you'll start saving money and you make a change to the environment.
Oh my word. So this is actually really, really simple. It's a lot cheaper and it's now going to start becoming more readily available at all of your big hypermarkets and stores and stuff. So thanks, Riaan. This is absolutely incredible. I'm sure the details will be available for you online. So make sure you go and check it out. You know, light bulbs sort of represent a really good idea, and wine is always a good idea.
Always a good idea, Danilo. Today, First for Women Insurance is continuing the first SA Women series through Afternoon Express, where we celebrate, admire and learn from a number of fantastic South African women. Today, we're going to chat to one of the few black females in the winemaking industry. She is assistant winemaker at Zonneblom Wines. Originally from KZN, she completed her degree at Stellenbosch University, and not only did she become proficient in Afrikaans, but also landed a 3-year internship with the Cape Winemakers Guild, becoming the first female Cape Winemakers Guild protege. It's a pleasure to have with us Praisy Dlamini. Welcome to the Loft.
Thank you for having me.
Ek verstaan jy praat baie goed Afrikaans, nee?
Ja, ek moet.
Why wine?
Well, I landed into wine. I think then it wasn't like what I wanted to do. But I got a bursary at my matric year that I had, and then I had to decide what I wanted to do. And I decided to do wine. So
I read somewhere that one of the reasons you got into winemaking is because you wanted to dispel the myth that people from your province, being KZN, prefer mqombothi to wine.
Well, I think then because now we have a choice. So I wanted to explore what actually choices do we have.
Yes.
You know, and then through winemaking, then you actually, you know what, wine ranges from different styles, from sweet to dry to off dry. So basically now I have a choice that, okay, I don't want to drink mqombothi, so I can actually have some wine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And speaking of styles, what's your speciality? What's your favorite wine to make?
Well, I prefer dry.
You prefer dry?
And
a dry
red.
Yes, I love a dry red.
So it's always, especially now in winter, it goes
course.
down very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. So winemaking is a very male-dominated world, and I'm sure it's not without its challenges. What are some of the things you face on a daily basis that get you thinking, oh my gosh, I can't do this anymore?
Well, challenge number one, I'll tell you. It's a Tour de France, it's tennis, it's rugby. It's like on a Monday morning when we're having coffee, everyone is talking sport, left, right, and center. So you have to always try to keep up or have an over the weekend.
Yes, you have
so
to know
also
a
you
little
can
bit
say
about
something,
everything of the
you
male
know?
world. Yes.
So, but I think what happens is we've all got a common goal. And our common goal is to produce premium wines with good quality. So when you have that goal in mind, nobody's actually thinking, what color are you? What gender are you?
That's
you know,
amazing.
because then we're all striving to the goal, so we help each other to actually go through every process and then make sure we produce that.
Yeah.
So and then we have a very demanding market out there, so we have to make sure that we keep our standards high and then make sure we do it right and up to the T. So
Zonneblom is definitely one of my favorite wines. And how much wine tasting do you do a day? A lot.
Well, if you think of a normal day where you have to select barrels, to select this is for my blend, this is for this blend, this is for that blend. I mean, we've got a wide range of wines that we make.
Yeah.
And obviously we age in barrels, we age in tanks. So you have to taste each and every barrel to select and know where it's going.
So feeling tipsy is just part of the job, hey?
That's why the spitting is there. That's how we make sure. And believe you me, we've got securities at work.
Yeah.
So
any young women out there watching who are like, hey, that's something I'm interested in, what would you advise them to do?
Well, the main thing is study. You know, there's nothing I would promise you right now. If I hadn't taken that chance 10, 14 years ago, you know, to decide that, no, let's try this winemaking thing. It might just work.
Yeah.
And then I think I wouldn't probably be sitting here right
Yes.
now. I would be
Yes.
somewhere else. So it's basically education that could take you further, regardless of what you will study or whatever you want to become in future. And as well, it's passion and dedication to what you're doing.
Yes.
I mean, if you probably wouldn't be sitting here if you weren't dedicated to your own job.
Yes, of
so it
course.
takes all of that. It's different dimensions that make something a whole, you know,
Yeah.
that makes it work. So it's just education, passion, and dedication.
Awesome. One last very important question. Your wines are fair trade accredited. What does fair trade mean, and what does it mean for the community?
Well, the range of fair trade that we actually make is fair trade is basically ethical certification that promotes equality and sustainability in a farming community. I mean, if you have a farm and then you've got your people there that just works for you, but you don't give anything back. So it's a way of a company and a producer sit together with a committee and they decide how can we give back to the farming community so actually we can take them further.
Yes.
I mean, with the project, the fair trade wines that we actually have at the moment, 3 of the people from the farming community we buy the grapes from are now going to graduate this year.
Awesome. Wow.
And also the crash got to be upgraded now. The children get more opportunities to play with different things, and there's nutritional schemes that's going around on farms. So it's not about, and people are educated as well on responsible drinking.
People aren't getting paid in wine anymore.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
So it's now in another way, you know.
No, for sure. Thank you so much. We've loved having you.
No, thank you for having me.
Praisy, we salute you, and so does First for Women. First for Women remains committed to empowering female entrepreneurs and business owners through the products and benefits they offer. One such product is business insurance, which has been designed to cater for the specific needs of business women in the SME environment. First for Women also offer a range of unique assistance products, included for free in the business's insurance policy, which includes assistance and support in technology, business management, operations, finance, marketing, sales, and human resources. Customers can access telephonic support 24/7 from professional advisors, mentors, and specialists who are experts in key business areas. For more info, call First for Women on 0861 111844 or SMS FIRST to 49267, and they'll call you back. We'll be right back.
Express yourself. Express yourself.
Welcome back. You're still watching Afternoon Express right here on SABC3. Sustainability is one of the biggest buzzwords in the world at the moment. But what is it all about? We're on the couch again with Riaan and Michelle, and I can't think of anyone better to help us understand what sustainability is all about and how we can incorporate it into our daily lives. If you have any questions about sustainability or some tips on your own, call us right now, 083-913-3728. But Michelle, earlier on you were about to mention the 4 pillars before we get into this incredible book. What are the 4 pillars?
So to break it down so that it becomes more accessible to everybody, it's water conservation, energy conservation, waste management, and anything chemical. So those are your fundamental 4 pillars of which you will find most things are fitting in.
Okay.
And then there's 2 more catchphrases. One is your eco footprint and one is your carbon footprint. One refers to the amount of carbon emissions you emit per day in your lifetime, which is your direct climate change contribution, and an eco footprint is the amount of land for you to have a life, namely the textiles for your clothing, the food that you're eating, your leisure, your vehicle. At the moment, we are living 2.2 hectares per person on the planet, and we've got to get it down to 1.8 hectares per person.
All right. Now, in terms of the eco footprint, how does one calculate that? Is there an easy way of doing it? Can you log on to somewhere, click, 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 and, you know, I mean, we're living in 2015. Things have to be quick, you know? That's how this generation works.
I think you will definitely get a calculation on that by Googling to go on a footprint calculation.
Okay.
You know, we haven't done that ourselves, but there's definitely a way of doing the right way to do that.
All right, fantastic. Now let's get into this amazing book, The Green Line. It was released in 2011. You guys obviously both wrote the book. What inspired, you know, the South African guide to green living?
Well, how it all began was literally the union of the 2 of us, because I was very focused on conservation and species, and Riaan was you know, at that stage,
I'm the
DIY
technical
guy.
guy.
Technical,
Yeah.
practical brain.
Yeah.
And we were experiencing what's happening in the bush, what's happening to our species. For instance, we got 1,700 plant species that are listed as endangered in South Africa. And that's due to urbanization and due to alien introduction. And so, of course, when we see the tragedies that are unfolding, like the African penguin, its extinction date projected for 2030, we said to ourselves, well, what are we going to do? How can we make a change in our lives? And of course, Riaan's practical brain could now start creating and thinking on that.
I love that. And of course, that was one of the many business ventures you did, but also you built a bioclimatic home. For somebody,
Yes.
in layman's terms, Riaan, what is a bioclimatic home?
You know what, in layman's terms, it's a greenhouse. But we never wanted to say it's a greenhouse because then you see people building a house with hay bales. Some people use boards and polystyrene. And what we try to do is to build a normal house, which all of us want to live in, with brick and mortar and clay bricks, but do it the right way. So what we created, we started off with foundation and put polystyrene between the earth and the foundation, so no cold could come through from the earth into your house. We built cavity walls, and in Cape Town they still build cavity walls. Up in Joburg they don't do a lot of cavity walls anymore. I filled that with polystyrene as well. We put double glazing windows in, and I've put Think Pink in the roof. So what you create now is like a beer box, you know, a cooler box. Because that's why your beer and your cool drink stays cold, and that's why your coffee stays hot in a flask, because you've got a contained area. So if you do that with the house, it's exactly the same thing what we do. And then what we added onto it, we had solar panels on the roof, so we didn't use any electricity from Eskom at that point. I had 30,000-litre tanks underneath my ground, so I caught all the rainwater up. And we also used a bio system that we use all the grey water. So grey water and black water was cleaned up, sprayed back into the garden. So it's a greenhouse. So we try to do everything in that house. The only thing that we had to buy was normal water, but you can also sink a well if you want to, or boil and drink that water.
Yeah.
But that's all we needed on that house, was to do that. And we wanted to show the country that you can actually achieve something by building a house.
But how can we do it in our daily lives if we cannot build a bioclimatic home? What are some of, 5 or 6 pointers that you think somebody at home can do just to change the environment in which they live in, or, have a positive effect on the earth?
All the aspects of sustainability you can apply to an existing structure. The only reason why one would necessarily build new is because of that insulation aspect, to build that perfect cooler box, as Riaan has said. But golly gosh, where do we begin?
Oh, there's so much.
Energy
Switching off
monitors,
plugs, yes.
it's switching off the lights, it's energy-saving light bulbs, it's water-saving shower heads, it's
Salt chlorinate in your pool. You also get a pool pump that uses 20% of a normal electric pool pump, so you cut on that.
Fantastic.
Geyser-wise timers. Simple things like please never, ever, ever buy another plastic bag, because we don't need it. Just use the fabric bags. And it's one extra step is, once you've done the groceries and you've unpacked them in your kitchen, just take them back to the car and stick them in the boot so that they're there next time.
Such awesome tips. But if you have any questions for Michelle and Riaan, they are in the loft. Call us right now. We are live. They are here. They are full of knowledge, and they're going to help us, make the world a better place. So make sure that you stick around. They're not going anywhere. But Afternoon Express team is going green. Yes, I promise you we are. Join us next week, Tuesday at 4 p.m. as we launch our sustainability series. Now, listen to this. For 12 weeks, every Tuesday, we'll be bringing you the most innovative trends in sustainable fashion, food, decor, design, as well as handy tips to help you reduce your carbon footprint. Remember to keep your ears open for clues and answers in our weekly Go Green competition, so you can win yourself weekly shopping vouchers. Plus, if you correctly answer all 12 weekly questions, you'll be entered into our draw for the ultimate grand prize, with a total value of more than R500,000. So we're going green. Yes, right here on Afternoon Express from next week, Tuesday, all right? But we'll be chatting to our couple a little bit later. Let's go back to the kitchen with Danilo.
Indeed. So we've just managed to finish searing our trout that we've done. They're slightly smoked, and you're busy putting a whole bunch of quinoa together here. Now, I must tell you that quinoa is one of the funniest things I've ever cooked with before and eaten, because all my friends just say, "Oh, you're such a snob. You eat quinoa. What even is quinoa or whatever they even how to pronounce it." So
Quinoa is actually so good for you because
It's
it's
so
high in
good.
protein and it has some iron in it. So it's a very good substitute for rice.
yes, it's a great carb to have. If you're
Very
going to have
good.
carbs, definitely engage with it. But I see you are steaming it, and I've never seen it done like this before.
That's the simplest way to do it. What you do, you first boil the quinoa in salted water, strain it and put it on a sieve, and basically you're steaming it because there's boiling water underneath. This helps it to fluff up a bit, exactly like you cook basmati rice.
Oh, amazing. Okay, well, let's take a quick recap. So we've made our trout. What are we making now?
Yeah, we're just making the quinoa, which we're doing with the exotic tomatoes.
Okay.
So in the meanwhile, you will mix the quinoa together with the lemon juice, which is freshly squeezed.
Yes.
And some olive oil.
Yes, boss, I'm on it.
And in here, I've got some basil, which I've already torn. And I'm putting some tomatoes. I'll be seasoning this with black pepper and some salt. And I'm also drizzling some olive oil.
I'll share the olive oil with you.
Yes,
Just a
definitely.
little drizzle for this
You know,
one.
these tomatoes are so nice. I promise you could literally eat them like you
they
eat
look
an apple.
so good. They're one of my favorites. I love the tomatoes. So this, oh, sorry, I'm making a mess in your kitchen. I'm sorry. I had a question on Facebook from somebody, because I see that there's chili here that you're going to be adding at some point.
Yes.
A lot of our viewers potentially don't like cooking with chili, or potentially do like it but want to make it a slightly more mild. Is that an option?
Yeah, no, that's actually an option. I mean, or whenever there's chilies, it's just for flavor. So if you don't like the chili flavor, just don't add it. Okay, and to prove that, let's just not add it on this
Okay, cool,
dish.
fantastic. So we'll show you how to make it without chili, but don't forget, if you do want to chop it up, your chili, your nice red chilies, you're welcome to go and do so.
Definitely.
Add a bit of a bite to your quinoa salad.
So I'll mix that.
Oh, it looks so good with those tomatoes thrown
Oh,
in there.
beautiful.
And quinoa's almost got a nice crunch to it because it's got that skin on it. So whenever you take
Yeah.
a bite into it, it's got that like slight crunchy popcorny feel to it.
And then to add more flavor, I'm going to be adding horseradish into some yogurt.
Oh, is that all going to fit in there?
Yes, it will.
Oh, Sharon!
We'll make sure it does.
Oh, there we go. You're a pro, man. You're an absolute expert. I love it.
And then to plate it, we're going to pouring that into the dish.
Sharon, don't you want to come and visit me at home? You seem so good in here.
I can cook for you
stand
anytime.
back- stand back and watch the master work. Yo.
Okay.
And you obviously can serve this quinoa cold or warm.
Yeah, definitely cold or warm. And then we'll put some fish on top, which was cooked.
Oh, yum. That trout looks so good. I think
It's so
everyone's going to be
beautiful.
so excited for this. And it's a nice lean meal. It's got good types of carbs in there. Fish has got all the good oils in it.
Definitely. And then we're going to sprinkle some of the yogurt.
It looks so good. And what exactly were you putting in that little bowl?
I'll put the
rest of
extra
that.
just in
Oh, I
case
see.
people need extra of that.
If you like it quite saucy.
Exactly. And then we'll garnish with some basil leaves.
And that's that. Simple as that.
Very
awesome
simple.
smoked trout, green on the sassy list.
Yeah, to add
quinoa
a bit
salad.
more flavor, you can just drizzle with some balsamic vinegar.
Oh, you are an absolute pro. All the flavors I dig so
Exactly.
much. All the Italian flavors mixed with this quinoa, I absolutely dig it so much. So Sharon, thank you so much. Looking forward to feeding that to the ladies later on. After the break, however, you guys can interact with us live on air. If you have any energy-saving tips or questions that you want to ask, 083 913 3728. Now is your chance. Don't go anywhere.
Express yourself.
South Africa, are you with us?
Express yourself.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Danilo, the food looks incredible. Thank you very, very much.
Such a
I'm
pleasure.
going to give you the honors to dish out for our lovely guests. But while you do that, we do have a caller on the line. Let's go to Johannesburg. Janet, how are you? Welcome to SABC3.
Hi, thank you very much.
Yes.
Firstly, what a wonderful show.
Thank you.
Secondly, Michelle and Riaan, it's so close to my heart, recycling. We throw away so much. But there's also a stigma attached to recycling because people think that you recycle just to get the money in, but you don't recycle just for that. You recycle as well for the environment. Secondly, Michelle, I love your idea about keeping the packets, the supermarket packets in your handbag. You go in there and then they say plastic, and then you say yes. And then, you shouldn't have to buy one. You just keep one in your bag. But recycling, I think we need an index that what we can recycle and what we can't recycle.
Indeed.
And that is what I want to find out. Everybody knows recycled glass, paper, and plastic. But I think we need to look at something maybe different. What is recyclable and what is not?
Yeah.
And the stigma attached to recycling must stop, because people do it not just for the money, because you need to take bottles in to buy food.
All
You
right.
take bottles in to recycle.
All right, Janet, let's give Riaan and Michelle an opportunity to answer that question for you. How do we break the stigma? Riaan, let me come to you.
I will start with the first thing, and then Michelle can follow up. But recycling for me, it's unbelievable. It's like making a real change. You know, for me, there's nothing better going to a supermarket, and I can take my bags out of the back of the car. It's like becoming part of my life. I feel proud when I walk in there, and I know I'm not going to use any plastic bags. But recycling at home, what we did, we got 3 bins. We got one that says plastic, paper, and glass.
Yeah.
And we're learning in that to little Rain as well, and we do it.
All right.
And in the beginning, I got a lot of problems from Michelle, you know,
Yeah.
because, I just throw it. But now, I throw the glass in there, the paper goes in.
There's a sign.
There is a
says
sign.
glass.
You know what we're going to do? I want everybody to put those tips on our website, because unfortunately we have run out of time. But I'm going to allow everybody to enjoy their dinner. Thank you
Okay.
very much for coming through to
But
Michelle, Riaan, and of course KG. What an honor. For all the tips and all the advice, all the food and recipes, make sure you log on to our website right now, afternoonexpress.co.za. Thank you so much for tuning in. You know, time goes by very quickly when you're having fun. We're back again tomorrow at 4 p.m. right here on SABC3. Good night.
Happy eating.
Coming up tomorrow on Afternoon Express, legendary British singer and songwriter Joan Armour-Trading makes a special appearance in the loft on her last major world tour, and we chat with radio personality Bob Mabena.
Another feel-good production.
Join us next time for more fabulous fun inspired by First for Women on Afternoon Express. For an insurance quote, call 0861 11 18 44 or SMS FIRST to 49267.